fellow audience. It's so great to be back here. I missed you so very much last week. I took a week vacation to celebrate Thanksgiving. And this was all about gratitude and food. These two things, I guess, they go together very, very well. So today I am back here to continue our talk, our HR talk, and I'm going to be talking about a very controversial but very important topic. This is diversity, inclusion, equity, belonging, and all the different adjectives that this topic has been getting, particularly over the past 2 or 3 years. Before I go there, just want to remind you this is Eva Dias, your HR guru, and I'm here to help you with whatever issues or opportunities you may have in managing the most valuable asset of your business, your people. I'm going to start to make noise here. But before I go to the topic, I want to show you a very nice doodly video. I don't know who of you is familiar to doodle videos. I found them very, very nice, educational, informative, and easy to memorize. So let's start with our doodle video for part one. Okay, I'm back here. Now I'm going to start talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, belonging, and whatever. First thing I want to mention here is how this whole thing started. In the beginning, this was only about diversity, and that was born here in the United States in the, I think, in the 60s, and it was all about protecting the minorities and against discrimination. So over time, this has evolved to equity, to ensure that everybody's rights also were protected. And a little bit farther, then came inclusion. And if I may summarize, diversity is what we all are because the world is diverse by definition. Equity is what ensures everybody's right in an equality approach. And inclusion, my friends, is really what we need, is what we are missing in the world. That's why, in my view, this is a very personal view, I believe the issue about discrimination and whatever is linked to that is not solved because we really don't tackle the real problem. And the real problem is how can we make humanity more inclusive? So what that means is very simple. If we could reprogram our brain and our minds in order to eliminate bias, eliminate judgment, and accept people just the way they are without qualifying them, without giving them labels, without looking at the color of their eyes or their skin, their gender, their religion, their race, their nationality, you name it. If we, as human beings, would be able to do this, that means we would be inclusive. That means all these discussions and all the issues that come together with the discussions would disappear. But I have a question for you. Do you believe, any of you, that this is possible? And if you do, please interact with me. Remember my email. It's Eva Dias, V as in Victory, A, D as in David, IAS at phoenix8csolutions.com. Send me your opinion. I would love to hear from you. And even to make my articulation here enriched with your views. But going back to the topic, the lack of inclusion is what really makes us all dealing with this topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and whatever, very difficult. And if we go back to the time that we are born and the way we are raised, then we can understand a little bit why we think and act the way we do. I guess many of you that, have white collar, for instance, you grew up in a neighborhood of white people, most probably. And if you haven't, good for you, because then you are privileged, because you probably were given a chance to be raised amongst a very diverse group. But think about this for a moment. If this is not the case, parents don't teach kids, how to be diverse. Normally, they always guide the kids to be amongst their equals, people with the same color, same sort of social class, same everything, and that doesn't help. So I guess my proposal here when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion is for everybody to rethink or reflect a little bit on what the real issue is. It is not diversity, it's not equity, it is about the inclusion. In some cultures, equity may play still a big role. I have to admit that, particularly in the underdeveloped countries. But the commonality of this issue everywhere, I can assure you, my having been a little bit around the globe, living and working, is lack of inclusion. Now I'm going to show you a second doodly video about this topic. Make the noise. you might be asking yourselves, why is it important? Why is it important to be diverse, equitable, and particularly inclusive? Let's think about the world of business for a moment as an example. Organizations who have put together a DE&I agenda, and they are practicing and they are evolving in their culture as very inclusive and diverse. They are out. I have to stop here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. They are outperforming their competitors. And you know why? It's very simple. They have in their organizations, in their products, in their services, representativity of all different types of people. Again, no matter if they are old people, black people, African American, so to speak, in a better term, if they are women, if they are LGBTs, they are men or kids, they can address the needs of all these different audiences because they have it as part of their DNA. And that, my friends, put these organizations in a very, very high status, again, in comparison to their competitors. And their profits are much higher. The way they deal with clients is much more genuine because they are really focused on having representativity of all different types of people. And more than that, they really educate their workforce to be inclusive and reflect this in everything they do every single day. So think about this for a moment. Diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda in your business. If you don't have one yet, I can help you to put it together very easily, like 1, 2, 3. And if you do have one, I'd be very happy also to work with you and see if there is any other opportunities to be tapped and make it a very strong agenda in a way that, again, you can start outperforming your competitors. How about this? If you are interested in this, just call me or email me. My phone number is 305-842-9237. Email Eva Dias, EVA Dias in David, IAS, at phoenixhcsolutions.com. I'm going to invite you to the third part of the doodling video on DE&I. So how about this? Did you guys like this video? By the way, have you liked all the videos? Do you have any questions, any suggestions, anything you like to share? Don't forget to send it to me, please. I'd be very, very happy to interact with you, particularly in this such as, again, critical, important topic. So this is for today. Again, I'm very happy to be here, interacting with you. Thank you so very much for watching me and send me your concerns. I'm here to help and happy to help.